Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Pitchford Kendricks versus Saavedra.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Pitchford Kendricks, you opened your case to prove that you are the biological father of the defendant's 2-month-old son, Javier. You claim she is denying paternity only because she wants to be with another man and needs him to be the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Saavedra, you admit you allowed 2 men into your bed at the same time, but you are convinced that Mr. Pitchford Kendricks is not Javier's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Pitchford Kendricks, you say proving paternity is extremely important to you.
Yes,
is that
Your Honor.
correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please explain.
Well, Your Honor, I grew up in the streets of Detroit, no dad in my life, and I just want to make sure that my son doesn't have to grow up like I did. And
that's a beautiful basket there. You brought that for your son once you prove your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
You say you grew up without your father?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what that was like growing up without your dad.
It was kind of stressful, like being in school and seeing all my classmates and stuff, having their parents come up there, both of them, and my mother just up there alone, you know, kind of stuck with me, but I can't let my kids grow up like that.
And so you intend to break that cycle today?
Yes, Your Honor.
But Ms. Saavedra, you say, unfortunately, Mr. Kendricks, you don't believe he's the biological father?
No, Your Honor, I do not. It started like this. Me and Greg met each other through, he was dating a roommate of mine. And he came over one day. We did end up hitting it off, and we was cool. Ended up having sex.
Okay, that's Three's Company, right? Y'all too young to know that show.
Speaking of Three's Company, when me and the man that I believe is Javier's father, Maurice, was getting rocky, we decided to include Greg in our mix and try and spice things up.
Oh, so how often was that happening?
It happened
Off and on for like 10 years.
What?
It
wasn't 10 years.
It happened like this, Your Honor. I've been knowing her 10 years. After I got her and we became friends, you know, I was still kind of talking to her friend. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh, you still with the friend?
yeah.
Right.
After that, you know, I hooked her up. She asked me, did I know anybody else? You know what I'm saying? That she could hook up with.
So who did you hook her up with?
Well, a half cousin of mine.
A half cousin?
Yeah, he my cousin's cousin. So I hooked them up.
So wait a minute. You were dating a woman, you ended up sleeping with her roommate. Then you developed a friendship with that roommate, and then she asked you to introduce her to somebody, so you introduced her to your cousin.
Yes, ma'am.
But then,
Yes, Your Honor.
her and your cousin invited you into their bed to have a threesome when their relationship needed spicing up.
Yeah, like that, but she used to call me and confide in me to, like, after I hooked them up as friends and stuff, and they got it on, you know, and when they have their little disputes or whatever, he be cheating and all that, she called me crying and stuff, and, you know, I had to go over there and kind of help her cheer up and stuff, you know.
So you're saying you did the threesomes, but then you also would go over and sleep with her by yourself?
While he was at work, or, you know, while he was cheating.
Your Honor, that happened one time.
Because I took her...
It was once. Maurice was out with a friend of mine at a hotel. I called him, asked him if he would take me up to the hotel to see if Maurice was there. Like, I had a feeling that he was. Sure enough, his car was there. We ended up going back to the house. The whole time we were on the way to the house, I'm thinking to myself, like...
She want to get back at him. So that's
I was wrong. I was being
That's the day I think Javier was conceived.
Conceived?
Yes, ma'am, because that's when the unprotected happened. I was trying...
Honestly, I'm blown away. What in the world is this?
Like the times we had threesomes, I was trying to respect him, you know what I'm saying? So, and wear a condom, but I kind of liked her, you know, from the first time I had seen her and stuff. So,
But
wait, so what are you saying? So when you had the threesomes with your cousin and her, you would wear a condom?
yeah, for respect for him.
Because that's respect.
Yeah.
So then the night you had sex with her alone, that was unprotected.
Yes, ma'am.
it was. However, we got interrupted that time. Like, I messaged Maurice once we got back to the house and was like, I'm about to have intercourse with Greg. And, I'm sorry. I did.
Oh, I'm not laughing. I am just...
So, he ended up, well, we was having intercourse. He ended up messaging me about 15 minutes later and said, I'm on my way.
Probably too late after that.
I looked at my phone, seen the message. Greg immediately jumped up. Didn't even finish, you know. We was interrupted. And he ran out the house. He ain't even have clothes on. He didn't finish. So...
Because I want to be smooth, Your Honor. I want to be smooth about mine, you know, even though...
There's no way he could be the father.
Okay, there's a phrase called Detroit's finest. Y'all ain't it.
We was having threesomes then and with Javier.
I know he's not the father. Me and Gregory wasn't messing around in May. I conceived in May.
It was April.
Press calculate. Conception window is between April 12th and April 18th.
Well,
in the case of Pitchford Kendricks versus Saavedra. Wow. The night you had sex with her alone, that was unprotected.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no way he could be the father.
So you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do then?
I contacted Maurice and told him I was pregnant.
Okay, so you contact the guy that really was your boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
So when you told him you were pregnant, did he say, it's not my baby, it's Mr. Kendricks?
He didn't say anything to the degree at the time. We talked about it later on.
Afterwards, he called me trying to act like, man, these old babies over here, dog. I'm telling you, when I see you, dog, it's on, man. You got me over here taking care of your babies. Because between both of the babies, like before her first baby was born, that's when the threesome started.
Oh, so you have an older child with the cousin.
Yes.
But it was during the time of the threesomes and the times when...
With both kids. We're both children.
Both kids, you were having sex with Miss Saavedra either within the threesome or alone.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. And I see...
Not with the first one, no. It was months prior. Months prior. It was not around that same time.
So now there's a question about Javier's paternity.
Yes, Your Honor. Because
of this night and the other threesome episodes.
Yes.
And Mr. Kendricks believes he is Javier's biological father. He even brought a basket. He is ready.
I know he's not the father.
You do?
I do.
And how do you know that, Miss Saavedra?
Because me and Gregory wasn't messing around in May. I conceived in May.
It was April.
Right, and I conceived in May.
Okay, let me go to my conception calculator, because you all just all over the place. Ugh. So Javier's birthday is January 9th, 2019. Press calculate. Conception window is between April 12th and April 18th.
Yes, Your Honor, but that's not when he was due. He was born early. He was due January 26th.
Your Honor, like I said, off and on, before the first child was even born, like, we was having threesomes then and with Javier, you know?
So you're saying these threesomes were a regular thing?
Yeah, if it wasn't every weekend, it was like every other weekend.
Every other weekend? Every weekend? You've got this basket. You were ready to step in and be the father you never had. And yet, this is your cousin's girl.
I introduced them to each other.
What? I don't understand that.
I was sleeping with her first.
Is this what we doing out here? I missed something.
I was willing to give Maurice whatever he wanted. I didn't want all that after that.
When it comes to 3-month-old Javier.
Just having threesomes, Ben and with Javier.
So how often was that happening?
10 years.
What? So, Miss Saavedra, I just have to stop. Unfortunately, I understand why Mr. Kendricks would probably enjoy it. Because men can just be nasty like that.
Yeah, she want both her kids to have the same father, but...
And they do.
Why is nobody on the birth certificate then?
Because Maurice has another girlfriend at the time, and he wasn't up at the hospital.
Why does Mariah have his last name and...
Because he's my only son, and I wanted him with my last name.
So why when I asked you, is it a possibility...
It's not Pitchfork. Pitchfork.
So what... So why when I asked you, was it a possibility that it's Javier mine, you said...
No.
You said, could be. You said you didn't know.
I ain't... When I said that?
When I called you and asked you, when you told me about the baby.
You was a lie.
We have a statement from
Maurice.
Your cousin, Maurice.
Your Honor, he even thought I was...
It says, last year, Mercedes and I got into it because she thought I was having sex with another woman, which I wasn't. In retaliation, she had sex with my cousin Greg with no rubber. Shortly after, she comes up pregnant. I found out that they had been having sex behind my back for years. Since the dirty mess has come to light, I don't think her son is mine. He looks like Greg.
Well, Your Honor, I'm not sure who he found that out from. Maybe he was talking to him, and...
Now look at his nose and look at mine.
Yeah, all right. Well...
So that's Mr. Pitchford Kendricks on the left, Javier in the middle, and Mr. Avery on the right.
It is.
Wow. So what are you hoping for, Mr. Kendricks? You've got this basket. You are ready to step in and be the father you never had. And yet this is your cousin's girl.
Yes, Your Honor. But like I said, I introduced them to each other.
And then that gives you a reserved right to sleep with her? What? I don't understand that.
I was sleeping with her first.
Is this what we doing out here? I missed something. Because you all are so casual about it, like you all just telling me how to bake a cake. And you keep having that little smile, Miss Saavedra, and I'm thinking to myself...
Because I'm so... mad and upset and hurt and betrayed and everything else, I don't know how else to express it.
And what I see you are emotional now. What are you really feeling inside?
I wanted everything from Mariah. I wanted her to grow up with a mother, wanted her to grow up with a father. So, with that being said, I was willing to give Maurice whatever he wanted. Whatever he wanted. I didn't want all that after that. And he knew it. Yeah, I did it when I messed up and ended up sleeping with Greg, but I didn't know what else to do at that point.
Thank you for being honest. I feel like I get it now. You wanted that family you didn't have.
Right.
For your daughter.
Right.
So what you did was... And look, women do that. You acted like you were gung-ho to do something, and then when you did it, your truth is, that's not my thing.
Right.
And do you see how you walk down this road where you now have the man you wanted to make a family with, his cousin is here with a basket saying, your baby is his.
Yeah.
Listen, this is not easy.
It ain't.
You got yourself into a tizzy. And I'm just here to try to help you sort it out, because no matter what these test results say, if you don't get an understanding of why you do what you do, you're going to keep doing it. And now, I mean, we're in a position right now where we need to find out if your children are siblings or if they're siblings and cousins.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you built a relationship with Javier?
Well, I tried to, Your Honor. I mean...
When?
I mean, when I came over there and brought you some food.
You came over there. First of all, you didn't come over there and bring me food. You came over there for 2 seconds. Is that building a relationship with Javier? And that was...
Would you let him build it?
Before this?
Yeah, like when you all were at...
Probably not, because...
Okay.
It's not his son. How...
But you're saying if in fact he is, you would?
Yes.
All right. Wow. That was a lot. Jerome, let's get these results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Pitchford Kendricks versus Saavedra, when it comes to 3-month-old Javier Saavedra, it has been determined by this court. I feel like this mutual admiration can be dangerous, and it can land you back here if you don't know what to do with it. Next, paternity court. You say he's the father, he says he's not.
I love him.
I don't love her.
We just had sex 3 weeks ago.
How many guys I caught you with in your house, though?
You're not my man.
So
why are you worrying about who's in my house?
Why do you want to sleep with me, then?
I don't know either. Sitting around here making babies like you making muffins, just popping them out.
Testing for paternity court provided by DNA Diagnostics Center. Visit DNAtesting.com.
Her and your cousin invited you into their bed to have a threesome.
I just want to make sure that my son doesn't have to grow up like I did.
He looks like Greg. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Pitchford Kendricks, you are not the father. I can see that really disappointed you. You thought you were.
Yeah, Your Honor. You know, I tried to step up to the plate, you know, because I ain't have a father.
You sitting over here with this beautiful basket, and it seems like...
Yeah, I'm going to give it to her anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was lovely. It's a weird thing. I kind of like it, but I don't, because you all really do have a good rapport with one another. Like, you all probably could have had a nice relationship, but I feel like this mutual admiration can be dangerous, and it can land you back here if you don't know what to do with it. Because you all have that chemistry thing. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. All right? So go out and talk to Dr. Jeff and take advantage of the counseling and the resources he has for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Court is adjourned.
Closed captioning.
He's not my father.
You disagree.
If you were there when my mother died at the hospital on her deathbed, where did you go? That makes no sense to me. We were literally in the same city the whole time.
If they was, I didn't know.
There's no reason why you should not be able to find us. No reason.
It was like you all were just on parallel paths that wouldn't intersect.
Coming up right now.
Have you ever heard that anyone other than these two men could be your biological father?
Yes. There's also 2 other men who claim to be my father.
What in the world?
Yeah.
I know they're my kids.
I will always be dad, okay?
I asked Mr. Hinton for a DNA test, and he refused.
That's why we do this every single day, because we know that there are children out here still hurting, just like you. How did you finally find them? How did you finally find them?
I'm not tech savvy or anything like that. It took my brother in 2015, and we just sitting there talking one day in the living room, and I'm always talking about them when they was her, especially her when she was little. And I said, I done tried this, I done tried that, whatever case may be. He said, you ever try Facebook? I put in Marilyn Bird Waddell, and popped right up. Popped right up. I start crying like somebody just hit me in the mouth, whatever case would be. I was crying so much. She was just, that's how I remember her, face and all and everything.
And so, Miss Waddell, when you got that message and it said, "This is your dad,"
Yeah.
did you feel like, I believe this? Or did you feel,
No,
who is this?
not at all.
What were you thinking?
I didn't think that he was my father at all.
That's where the main thing came in.
So why did you decide to meet with him?
Because he was so sure. He was so adamant that he was my father. And I'm just like, I don't know my dad. So let me, at least I can just take like this step. Maybe this is just one step forward to figuring out who I am. So I decided to meet with him. And then we just...
Wait, you say you didn't know your dad, but weren't you told Mr. Walls was your dad?
Yes. We were told that Mr. Walls was our father, but he wasn't there either.
Oh,
So
okay.
I met him about 8 years ago.
So all of this time, you told Mr. Walls is your dad,
Yes.
but because of his absence at some point, you entertained Mr. Hinton.
Yes. I've always been told since I was about 16 that Mr. Walls was my father, even though I had never met him a day in my life. That's just always what I was been told from one of my older
I'd like to hear from Mr. Walls. I want to understand this. Stand up, please, sir. Stand over behind the podium next to Marshawn, please. State your name for the record.
Renard Walls.
And who are you?
I'm Marshawn and Melinda's dad.
You are?
Yeah. I know they're my kids.
Okay, so you do not have a doubt.
Right.
So what did their mother tell you?
Well, I was at work one day and her mom came with my job and told me that she was pregnant. And I said, yeah. She said, they're your kids. So I said, okay. Yes, I knew that. So,
You just said okay. Because you knew you were in a sexual relationship with her.
Right, right.
All right, so you didn't protest.
No.
All right. So were you there with her mom throughout the pregnancy?
Yes, I was.
Did you know she also had a relationship with Mr. Hinton?
No, I didn't.
But you are testifying that their mother told you you are their biological father.
Right.
And you accepted it.
Right.
Ms. Waddell, have you ever heard that anyone other than these two men could be your biological father?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. Yes. So
What?
these two are not the only men who claim to be my dad. There's also 2 other men who claim to be my father.
What in the world?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the men who claims to be my father, I know for a fact that he wasn't, and he literally just disappeared. I don't know where he went.
And then what did the fourth one say?
The fourth one said, I actually remember them, like the other guy. I remember him and his family. They used to call me Little Bit. I remember going with him and his family over his house. His sister reached out to me, showed me pictures of me and my twin brother sitting on this man's lap, sitting on her grandmother's lap, everything. Pictures all the way up till we were about, I would say, like 5 or 6. She had pictures like for years. And
pictures of you and
my twin with her family.
With this other
With the other
father's
guy.
family?
Yes.
The other guy?
Yes.
They got pictures of you all the way up?
Yes. They have pictures of us. So we decided to...
And this is father number 4?
Yes.
So 4 possible fathers and 2 are here?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, one of them I did test. And it came out that he wasn't. That's
was that number
picture.
3 or number? Oh, the
That's
one with
4.
all the pictures.
Yes. Yes.
So he's out.
Correct. He's out.
Wow, this is a saga. This is a lot. Mr. Hinton, have you prepared yourself? Did you understand that there were 4 possible fathers? That there were 4 men that thought they could potentially be the twins' biological father?
Yes. Well, when we met up initially at the restaurant, she was there before I got there, so I got there a little bit late. So I walked in the door, and it was just an instant. She ran into my arms, and we hugged.
I did not run into your arms. No, I did not. You're lying. No, I didn't. I'm not just going to run into a stranger's arms. No, I did not. No, I didn't.
Can I ask something? I do want to know something. I want to know something. I want to know something.
Run into your arms?
I want to know something. Because this question is tugging at me.
He he came in like bam, 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 like trying to father me, like trying to tell me what to do, like just overburdening me. And I'm just like, at this point, you seem to be my friend.
Mr. Hinton, I can see the pain in your eyes and the tears. What are you feeling?
He's crying now, but I've been crying for 33 years, so I asked him for another test. And he said no. I cut him off, and that's why we're here.
Just hear me now. Him saying, I don't want the test, is basically him saying to you, I am committed to you no matter what. You ever heard that anyone other than these two men could be your biological father?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. And there's also two other men who claim to be my father.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Miss Waddell, when Mr. Hinton speaks about you, he speaks as if he tried, he speaks as if he loved you, he speaks as if he accepted you all. And there's such an animosity that towards him that I didn't hear towards when you spoke of any other man that thought they potentially could be your father too. What is it that makes you so angry or have so much animosity towards him?
Because I have a lot of animosity and honestly a lot of resentment towards him because he just always talks about how he looked for us for years and years and years. We have been through so much. That's all he talks about, how he looked for us. And I just feel like you didn't try hard enough, you know, and the animosity is because on top of him just suddenly just appearing, when he did appear, I felt like he just was like, I'm at this time I'm 30 years old. He came in like bam, 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 like trying to father me, like trying to tell me what to do, like just overburdening me. And I'm just like, at this point, you seem to be my friend.
Mr. Hinton, I can see the pain in your eyes and the tears. What are you feeling? What is in your heart?
He's crying now, but I've been crying for 33 years, so.
I do believe he understands that part.
I don't think that he does. I asked him, like, I was hanging with him, like, going up to Cincinnati on the weekends to spend time with him. I was like, this could be my dad, you know? And even though, you know, I'm hard right now, I very much do want a family, and I want to know who my father is. I asked Mr. Hinton for a DNA test, and he refused. Now, this was 3 years ago. He says he did not need a DNA test, and I said, well, I do. I'm the child of the situation. It's not up to you to say. He said, I know that you're my daughter. I don't need a test. So he refused to get one. And I did tell him at one point that, you know what, since you want to be in our life so bad, and I think I was very vulnerable at that point. Since you want to be in our life so bad, you know, I would really want a father, and my twin was a father. We want a family, so, you know, we'll let you be a part of this. But then things just started happening, and I just started to feel like, you know, like I really started to doubt it. So I asked him for another test, and he said no. I cut him off, and that's why we're here. Like, if you cannot give me a test, I want nothing to do with you. You're not the only man who claims to be my father.
And now I get it.
I will always be dad.
I don't. Okay, when you keep saying that you're going to lose so much and you're always going to be our dad, but you were never our dad. You were never there. When you were at their funeral, for you to just walk away, that for me is enough.
I want to get you the answers. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jerome, may I have the envelope, please? The father is.
I just wanted to know. I very much do want a family, and I want to know who my father is. I asked Mr. Hinton for a DNA test, and he refused. Now, this was 3 years ago. He says he did not need a DNA test, and I said, well, I do.
I needed to understand that. I have listened to...
If you're so sure you're our dad, why wouldn't you take a test?
Exactly.
That's exactly how I feel.
And that's it. And that's why it's so important. As we hear these cases in this courtroom, as I take this testimony, and as we try to be a voice for the voiceless, there is still that little girl in you. Mm-hmm. Now, because you were looking through life with that lens, which we know why you wearing those glasses. Those were the glasses you were handed. You see the world through this because of what you've been through. There's another side to this story that we also see that you probably can't, where this man is saying, I don't need a test because I'm your dad and I just want to be your dad. A lot of men in this courtroom wouldn't do that. they would be just the opposite, saying, before I do anything, I want the test. The fact is, by me, when I get this envelope from Jerome, there is a very real chance he may not be your biological father. And he loses it all. So him saying, I don't want the test, is basically him saying to you, I am committed to you no matter what. I don't care. But I understand why you need the test.
That's what I told him.
And I have those results. What I want to make sure everybody here understands, based upon the testimony that was presented today, that we have in this courtroom 2 of 4 possible fathers, one of which has already been tested and is not the father. So we still have another man besides both of you who could potentially be the twins' biological father. Has everybody prepared themselves for that?
Yes.
Have you prepared yourself?
I guess as much as I can, because like you said, I can lose it all. Because these 2 here are, like I said, my legacy. This is who I've always made the man that I am, to make me be a better man as life went on. You know, for 1 minute I was just a guy out there, and then next thing you know, I'm a father. I'm a grandfather of 4. I mean, that could make any man's chest stick out. You know, and if you are the father, all I ask and I plead to you is to be a father to them. But I will always be dad.
I don't. Okay, when you keep saying that you're gonna like lose all, you're gonna lose so much, and you're always gonna be our dad. But you were never our dad. You were never there. When you were at their funeral, for you to just walk away, that for me is enough.
I walked away with you.
Completely
Miss
walked away.
Waddell, I do want you to understand.
I walked away with you.
He testified to the fact that he knows he blew it. He said that in his testimony. He said, I regret the day that I decided to leave the children behind and go off and get myself together. I know as a mother, that seems...
I don't understand that.
Absolutely. Trust, I am a mother too, honey, and they ain't going nowhere that my son ain't going. And like you said, if we sleeping in a box, we gonna sleep in one together. But that's not always the way it worked. And you are not very old, but you're old enough where there was a different culture and a different time. When a man like that would say, I'm going to go off and get ready to get my kids and get myself together, it would have made sense. It would have said, yeah, you go get yourself together. Make sure you got a job. Make sure you got a place to live. Make sure you got all these things before you just bring these kids. Unfortunately, what happened is during that time, you all started this cycle that you could not get out of. And that's why paternity issues and secrets and sagas, that's why we do this every single day, because we know that there are children out here still hurting, just like you, because of things have happened, because there was no legal father of record for anyone to reach out to. I want to get you the answers. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jerome, may I have the envelope, please? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Because fraternal twins could have different biological fathers, we performed individual paternity tests on Marilyn and Marshawn. With that being said, it has been determined that they share the same father. In the case of Hinton versus Waddell, it has been determined by this court. The father is Mr.
Next, paternity court.
You believe your husband is the father of one twin and your boyfriend is the father of the other.
I've been with these men together.
What in God's name? You believe these are your twins.
Yes, Your Honor.
That time I did love Scotty, but I was in love with this man.
We need the truth.
Testing for paternity court.
I will always be dad.
Doubt. When it comes to 33-year-old fraternal twins Marilyn and Marshawn Waddell, it has been determined by this court. The father is Mr. Walls. Mr. Hinton, I know this was not the answer you were expecting.
I'm sorry that we had to go through all this. And I just want to tell you, Mr. Walls, you got your work cut out for you. But you got two great kids there.
Yeah, I know.
They are great. And they're going to make you proud. Like I've been proud. You know.
Miss Waddell, how are you feeling, hon?
I mean, I do appreciate, you stepping up and wanting to be there. I just wanted to know. And I really hope that you understand why I wanted to know. We deserve to know. If he would have just did this 3 years ago when he first popped up out of nowhere, this could have all been settled. Maybe it wouldn't be so emotional as well.
Listen, I do believe that there was genuine love in Mr. Hinton's heart for you all. And just know, as you walk out of this courtroom, you all walk out knowing that you are family, you are, related. This is your biological father. As I said before, he stood here risking the possibility of losing it all, and he did today. He did. So just find some